Recording.
Oh, it says you started the record. Wait, you want me to I have to do the intro and introduce myself too?
Wait,
Hi. I think hold on. I hear my dogs coming down the stairs. That was a really bad time to start recording. Anyways,
Renee can edit it later. It's fine.
Yeah, sure.
I don't even know. Okay, you can tell we know exactly what we're doing tonight. So we're experimenting with a video podcast-ish thing. I don't know. I think we'll only get 40 minutes total anyway, so I better stop pretending like I know what I'm talking about. So we're just going to start with who we are, why we're here, all that good stuff. So I am Madi, or Madeline Elise, or Vegan Keto Madi, or I think those are my only handles. And I have been vegan for 11 years. I went vegan the week of my 19th birthday. So that was April of 2006. And yes, I do close my left eye every time I think. And in September, it'll be 14 years since I've had any meat. So 14 years vegetarian, 11 years vegan, and just went into month 16 of vegan keto, although might be starting ketosis over tomorrow. Not really sure. We won't talk about what happened this weekend. And for me, what?
Said carb ups, yay!
Yeah, carb up. We'll call it a carb up. I like that better than like a sugar.
Palooza.
Yeah, sugar tornado is kind of what I was this weekend. For me, I kind of had to go vegan keto. So I'd already been vegan. I started gaining a bunch of weight, and I was having a bunch of health problems. I had chronic fatigue syndrome, really bad IBS, and then I started getting these really terrible stomach aches for like years and years and years and years, and couldn't figure out what it was. Sensitive to gluten, but not celiac. I tried to do a no sugar at all, which if you're vegan, no sugar means you get to eat celery and radishes are the only two vegan foods that don't contain any sugar. So after 3 days of that, my students literally came up to me and they're like, can you please eat real food? Like, you're really cranky and we don't like you right now. So I was like, okay, that's out. Literally couldn't find any reason. I gained 20 pounds. Another student asked, she was like, when are you gonna announce your pregnancy? We know you're pregnant. And I'm like, no, honey, I'm just fat. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Like, my clothes didn't fit me anymore. It was awful. It was terrible. It was a bad part of my life. And so my brother had been doing low carb for a really long time. And I was like, what really do I have to lose at this point? Like, I've done a no sugar radish and celery diet. I've done no gluten. I've done, everything else. So let's do this. So I don't even know why I picked May 16th, but I dove straight in. Within a week, my bloating was gone. My stomach aches were gone. I didn't weigh myself for a while, so I don't know exactly how much I lost in what time period, but I do know at the end of 2 months, I had lost 25 pounds. So I started right under 150, and then I hit 125, which I thought was my goal. And then over the last year or so, I've lost another 10 pounds just by cutting out artificial sweeteners, which I highly recommend. I know not everybody's in that camp, but it really changed. Somebody's replying to my comment, go away. It really changed, and I cut out soy, but I don't tend to do things like individually, so I know what made what impact. I'm like, let's cut out these 18 foods at once. And I'm like, I feel better, but I have no idea why. So we'll just keep all those 18 foods out. And then I ended up doing things like eating a bunch of things all at once. And then I still don't know what is causing my problem. So I know that I can't do artificial sugars because I tried to eat erythritol and it was not a good experience for me. I don't do soy. I don't do gluten. So no fake sugars, no soy, no gluten, obviously no dairy, no meat, no eggs, no honey, any of that vegan stuff. But I don't really feel like a lot of people think that you'd be deprived. I don't feel deprived at all. Obviously, there are things that, like emotional eating is still a big challenge for me. So I have my ups and downs in that. but I find tracking is really helpful for me because it keeps me in line. So it's not like I'm tracking because I need to cut out foods. It's I'm tracking because I need to make sure I include food. So do I have all these nutrients? Do I have all these vitamins? So for me, that's really essential in my journey is to keep tracking things so I know I'm hitting what I need to hit. And I really didn't know what I was supposed to say for this, so I just kind of rambled on a little bit. So hopefully that's me. Well, not hopefully that's me, that is me. But hopefully that's good. So who's next?
You're gonna go, Rikki?
Sure. Okay, so I'm Rikki. I don't know if our names are going to show up when we post this video, but Eric is my name. You guys call me Rikki, and I like that, so we're going to stick with that. I'm Sonoria Wind Chimes on Instagram, so if you want to follow me over there. I started keto in April, mid-April. Like it's only been like 4 months. Wow, I can't believe it's only been 4 months. I was diagnosed with diabetes in February, and didn't know what to do because the thing is, you Google diabetes and vegan, and the internet spews out all this. You can cure your diabetes with a vegan diet, and I'm like, I end up this way. So, I don't know. I just kept Googling, praying, like, can I find anything low carb? At some point, I started eating eggs and dairy again because I knew that that wasn't affecting my blood sugar. And I didn't always feel good. Like, I felt kind of sick doing that. And I was like, this isn't working for me. I don't know what's going on. I just kept Googling. I kept finding vegetarian keto things. I even found a couple of meal plans. I'm like, no, I want to do this vegan. And I found meat-free keto. And then at some point I searched on Facebook and I found all these groups and I went, oh my God, it's a thing. I don't even know when I found all of it, but I guess I could go look up when I joined all the groups, but this is what I need to be doing. I don't want to start eating meat again. I don't want to do real keto. That sounds gross. I'm like, oh gosh, high fat. How am I going to do high fat? I've been low fat my whole life because I've been overweight my whole life, and that's how you're supposed to fix it, right? But after 2 days of eating only a couple of keto-friendly meals a day, my blood sugar just normalized and went way down, and I felt fantastic. And I was like, great, I'm not even going to transition. I'm just going to do this the whole way now because this is what I need to be doing. And I mean, it's the best thing I can do to not have to take more drugs. They put me on 2 drugs right away for the diabetes, and one of them was fine. Whatever, I'll deal with it. The other one I had an allergic reaction to. So that entire class of drugs was no longer an option. And a lot of the other ones that were options have weight gain as a possible side effect. I was like, nope, that's not okay. It's like, can we just try the one and I'll do more with my diet? And that just worked out really well for me. When I was diagnosed, my A1C was 10.4, which is high enough for my doctor to say, normally I would just put you right on insulin. But I don't have insurance. That's very expensive. So I said, okay, let's see what we can do just with the drugs. And, like, okay, let's do that. And when I found keto, I mean, I was only doing it for 2 weeks when I had my first set of blood work to see how I was doing. And my A1C was 5.6, which is,
That's awesome.
I mean, really, that's almost, if that had been my number in the first place, I wouldn't have been diagnosed.
Yeah.
7, right?
Like, oh my gosh. I have more blood work in a week and a half. I'm expecting it to be in the 4s, which I'm very excited about. Because my average blood glucose has been under 100, like all day, not in my fasting. So, and I know it's entirely the keto because I'm on half of the smallest dose of metformin. They make 500 milligram pills. They're the smallest ones you can take. The average person takes 1,000 a day. I cut it in half and take 250 in the morning and 250 at night.
Wow.
And that's all I need. That's all I'm taking. And I mean, we were talking about insulin at the beginning, so it's kind of insane. And I know it's keto because I wasn't making a lot of progress with just the drugs at the beginning. And, I'm vegan. That's supposed to be, the way to do it if you're, trying to avoid diabetes. And I was exercising like crazy. I run street races and I swim. I have a bike now, so I ride my bike around. And it wasn't enough. So, you know, what are you going to do, right? So that's me.
Awesome. Yeah. No, it's so interesting because we all have such different stories. So my story, I'm Renee. I'm Plant Powered Keto on Instagram. And so my story is that I have been vegan, plant powered for about 7 years. And I used to actually work for a big famous natural food grocery store teaching whole foods plant-based eating. And our whole foods plant-based diet is no oil, no fat, very low fat. And so I was on the high carb train for many years, and I was of the thought that it's the only way. And you do, like, when you're constantly surrounded by this, and just there's overwhelming evidence that this is so good and it does work, and 100%. I was almost 200 pounds at one point at my heaviest weight before I went vegan. I was almost 200 pounds, and I lost probably almost 50 pounds on high carb vegan. So,
You're glitching, Renee.
am I glitching? Am I back? Is it working? Yeah?
There we go.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Cool. Oh, my phone's overheating. Woo. So I lost almost 50 pounds on high carb vegan, but I was only able to maintain that by doing like crazy amounts of exercise, and it was really difficult for me to maintain my weight. So I kept putting on 20 pounds and losing 20 pounds, putting it back on and losing it. And I would yo-yo like this. I have a history of eating disorders, and the carbs would trigger all these cravings, and I would eat more. It was just really, really hard to maintain. So for me, I found keto, and I decided to give it a try because I love things like avocados and like coconut. Really, like, the type of foods I love, and it never felt natural for me to cut them all out of my whole foods plant-based diet, because I'm taught that you can have a lot of nuts and seeds and avocados, all these things that are really good for you and made me feel really good, but you can't do that if you're low fat. So for me, I've lost almost 10 pounds since January 1st. I started the hell up over Christmas and put on probably 10 pounds that I didn't need to. But then January 1st, I did keto, I lost 25 pounds. I've kind of done a couple of little carb up experiments, so I'm going up and down at about 10 pounds. But I'm just on a reboot. I did a 10-day carb up where I wasn't even eating that too many carbs. I was at about 100 net. I put on 6 pounds in 2 days. And I'm week 1, so 7 days back. I've lost almost 5 pounds. 6 pounds in a week, and almost 2% body fat, because I decided to go back to the gym, and because I'm eating high calorie keto, as soon as I go on the daily metabolic rate, I'm burning fat. So I'm just like burning fat straight away. And it's been a really interesting experience for me. And I've been tracking now. I have a ketone meter, and I've been just tracking myself. So I'm kind of at the opposite end of Madi. I'm at 50 net carbs right now, but it feels good for me and it works for me, because I don't have any sort of medical issues that I'm trying to like regulate. But for me, it's a weight control thing and an appetite control thing. So for me, I'm trying to keep my ketone level between 1.5 and 3. So if I can maintain at 50 net carbs a day between that on my glucose meter, then I'm super stoked, because I've been trying to add some more weight to my program, and I tried doing weight doing the low carb, and I just had no energy. It was so with all this exercise. What is that noise? I keep scratching. It's like so weird. But so it's just a big experiment, and I'm posting everything right now. Like Maddie's got so much great information on her blog, all these different meal plans. So I have started a higher net carb meal plans on my plant powered keto. So if you want to see what I'm eating exactly into excruciating detail, I am putting that all on there right now. But yeah, so it was so interesting that we're also different stories. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love, I know Meg and Jennifer aren't here, but I love that the five of us have the same success, but our motivation for going keto is so different. And our approaches are really different too. And I think that's really powerful for people to see. Like, I really can't go above 20. 25 is really my max just because, like, I shouldn't, like I told you guys before I ate foods, I knew I was going to regret eating certain foods this weekend, and surprise, I regret it. So I know that going above is not. And even when it's like I had a huge salad, like you don't think of salad as being like detrimental, but it's just my stomach does not, it just doesn't do carbs well. So I stay under 20 net. And Renee, I know you're up to 50. Rikki, what did you say? You're like 20, 30?
20, 25 is what I shoot for. I've had a couple of days where I go up to the low 30s, but it really depends on, on that day, how many miles did I ride on my bike, something along those lines, or just how hungry I am. But I try to focus more on volume of food. Like, I feel like I eat small, tiny meals throughout the day. I don't necessarily feel full, and it seems to cause my digestion issues. So I try to like I'll have a giant salad, but it'll be things that are very, very, very low carb. I can have the giant salad, or I'll use miracle noodles or something just to bulk up a dish. Just, I don't know. I feel like I need to be full. And, a handful of nuts doesn't always do that.
Yeah, I think actually now that you say that, I didn't put two and two together, but I think that was my problem. Not saying, Renee, that there's anything wrong with the bagels, but I was eating the bagels and almond butter last week, and it was super fatty, super protein, but I found at the end of the day I was always so hungry, and I think maybe that's why, because I wasn't eating, like I used to eat a huge dish of miracle noodles and vegetables, but I wasn't getting that. So I was already not going to do those next week just to kind of see, but I think that might be why, that I need to readjust on those days and eat a bigger dinner if I'm going to eat something smaller for lunch.
But then you have that enormous breakfast every day. Those steaks of yours, I could not possibly eat that.
I 6 cups
in the morning,
of
it's like a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I'm trying to get more coffee in the morning and then push that a little later, and then maybe eat like a even bigger dinner, so it's kind of only 2 meals a day. But I don't really like to cut it down to 2 meals, just given I don't want to do intermittent fasting that much, because it's easy for me to say, oh, I can keep not eating. Oh, I'll just skip dinner. Oh, I'll skip breakfast. Oh, I'll skip lunch, because that was my problem before. Like, oh, I can go 4 days. I don't need to eat in 4 days. Like, that's fine. And that was not fine for me. And I'm already on the back. I need to maintain. I don't need to be losing more. So I'm trying to keep those things quiet in my head and eat 3 meals a day for my sanity. Because I can't exercise either, so I need to maintain my.
But you have that wonderful, the Madi Chino, the huge breakfast. That was working for me too, where I'd have I knew every morning I'd have the exact same thing, and then lunch would be a little more. It was usually a salad, and then I'd throw toppings on it according to my cravings. And at the end of the day, I'd be on my lose it, going, okay, how many carbs do I have left? How much protein do I need? Like, what can I put together that will help me get to the macros, and then I can, and then fill myself up. And that was it. Like, I never know from day to day what I'm eating for dinner.
Yeah, I usually try to plan, and then by the time dinner comes around, I'm like, maybe I want this instead. But I think making sure before you eat it is super key, because sometimes people will say, oh, I didn't know until I plugged it in after dinner that I was having 25 net carbs. That's why I'm like, before you eat anything, put it in and see, are you like way over your carbs? Are you way under your protein? And like adjust before you even start to make it, so that way and it doesn't take that long. Like, it's guess and check. And then the more you do it, the more you're like, oh, this is this many carbs and this much protein. But at first, that's so crucial.
Around helps too. Like, if I'm saying, okay, I need, I can make a 6 carb meal. Like, okay, here's Beyond Meat, that's 0. Here's Miracle Noodles, that's 1. start adding it up in my head, but then I start going, wait, I don't want to take my B vitamin pill today, so here's my nutritional yeast, and then it starts to add up. And sometimes I kind of go, whoops, I hit 22 today, and then I just deal with it. But
Yeah.
I would really suggest you guys use Chronometer, and like, just even if you just do it for a couple of weeks, just put your stuff in there and just see where your nutrition is at. You don't have to do it forever, but that's how we start finding things like we're lacking in different like amino acids because we don't eat any beans. So that's why we're starting to introduce things like pea protein to fill out our amino profiles. I know that I'm lacking in things like calcium and iron, like not a lot, but every day I'm short, like every single day. So it's something I need to work on, eating more leafy greens and getting those things into my diet, or having to supplement. Like any vegan diet, like it's gonna be tough to get certain vitamins like B12. Like we need to supplement with B12. Like for me, I take nutritional yeast, way too much nutritional yeast. But it's
so good.
I do this. Like, if you look at my Chronometer, I'm at like 800% on all my B vitamins because I take nutrition. It's insane. But you would never know that unless you're actually looking at your nutrition. Vegan keto works, but it's difficult unless it's well planned. It needs to be well planned. You need to know where all of your vitamins and minerals and protein and your carbs and stuff. So it's so useful. And the website is free. So just if you go to the website, you can plug everything in, and the app is like $3. It's like super cheap, and it's so highly recommend. But it's telling me we're almost out of time. Otherwise, we have to pay like $15.
Oh no.
No.
It actually tells you.
But yeah, so I'm gonna post this on the group, and hopefully we'll do this again, and we'll get some more people in next week now that we kind of know what we're doing.
Yes, and next time
we can do like ask us questions and we'll answer them on the next video.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, ask us. We love to hear ourselves talk, so.
Awesome. Okay, great. So thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Yay!
Bye.